Okay, so we are on why is what week 6 and it is with math 7. All right, so let's start off from the very beginning. How do I get rid of this stupid thing? What is going on here? Okay. Find a slope line through this, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the slope formula?
So formula is
You want to write it down? You have plenty of space here too. So write it down.
m equals y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1.
Okay. So then remember, you could label this as x1, y1. I don't know what's wrong with my pen. This is really ticking me off. That's not working. Awesome. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2. But remember I told you, you just take this one and subtract that, right? I mean, you can label it, that's fine, or you could just subtract. Just remember 9 minus 2, 6 minus -45, but it has to be in that direction, okay? So use the second one to subtract the first one. It has to be the other second one, subtract the first one. So then you have 9 minus 2 over 6 minus -45, which would be a 7 over 51. And that's your slope. Okay. And it's a positive slope, so you go up 7 over 51 to get to the next point. I thought you 39 over 2.
Yeah, she never got that when she was doing
Then I think she doesn't know what she's doing. Yeah, I think she forgot the negative right there. It's a -45 because either way, she could have done it a second way. So this is a second way. And the second way of doing it. If she were to do this a second way, she could technically go -45, but it's negative, like instead of going in this direction, you could go in the other direction. Do you see that? But this one also has to go in the other direction. So negative, or actually, hold on. It has to be 2 minus 9 over 6 minus -45. Because this is always going to be the change in y, and this is always going to be change in x. You can't flip flop that. That doesn't change. It's always rise over run. Rise for y, run over for x. So that will be -7. That's a positive. Wait, hold on. -45. Oh, I did it backwards because I did 2. Yeah, so hold on. -45 minus 6. That'll still be a -51. Double negative makes it a positive over 51. That's your answer.
Yeah.
I don't think she saw the negative. Well, that's her fault. Anyways, number 2. Read it, please.
Okay, number 2. Line X, the slope of the line AB is 2/7. Point A 2/3 and point B x1.
Okay, so let's do this. Ready? So in the label, these are 2 points, right? X1, Y1, X2, Y2, right? This is the slope is this, so that's the M, correct? So M equals Y2, so write that down. Let's do here, this is 1. So we're gonna go ahead and plug those numbers in, right? So we're gonna do Y2, so 1 minus 3 over X. X is X2 minus 2 equals M, which is 2 over 7, right? So then ask yourself, okay, 1 minus 3 is going to be a -2, correct? This is a +2, and that's fine. What number minus 2 is going to give you a 7? What do you think that's going to be? Yeah. 9 minus 2 gives me a 7, correct? But see how the answer is going to be a positive 2 over 7? I can't have a negative 2 over 7. So what can I do to make this 7 a negative 7?
To make it a negative 7. Oh, a negative.
X minus 2 equals negative 7. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So what does X have to be?
Negative 5 or
Yeah. Negative 5, right?
yeah.
To make this. So X is what then?
X is 5.
Not 5. What is it? Negative 5. Okay, so if X is negative 5, you can make that work, right? Do you see that?
Yeah.
So let's just check. So try the slope again, plug it in, and make sure your answer is going to be a 2 over 7. So plug it in. If it worked, you should have had y2 minus, and remember, it doesn't have to be y2 minus 1. It could be y1 minus y2. You could go the other way. You could do 3 minus 1. But if you do 3 minus 1, you have to do 2 minus negative 5. Do you see that? Does that give you 2 over 7? Yes, it does. So you know it works. All right. Number 3. You have plenty of space. Don't erase anything. You could write it up here. Write it up here. Don't erase anything. Keep your work as is. Find the space, whether it's on the back of the paper or another piece of paper, but keep it as is or a sticky note.
Okay.
Number 3.
Well, identify the parallel slopes listed below are parallel, perpendicular, or neither.
Okay, so let me give you some context here. What do you know about parallel slopes?
They're equal.
M1 equals M2, and let's say, for example, they're both equal to 1 over 3. They're the same.
Yeah.
You understand that? Perpendicular slopes. You want to write this down?
Like crossing each other, like an X.
Yes. So parallel slope is like, they're like railroad tracks. You see that? So you want to write that down. Railroad. Okay? And there's no checking. They don't touch each other. All right. Perpendicular slopes. It's crisscross. You're right. So it looks like this. But when they crisscross, it's not just any crisscross. They have to create a right angle. Do you see that?
Okay.
Okay. So then, and they also call negative reciprocals. So if the first one is, let's say, 2/3, the second one, the way that you do it is you're gonna flip it and put a negative on it. Okay.
Yeah.
If I flip that, what would that be? And you have to put a negative on it. That's how you tell if they're negative or perpendicular slopes. Okay. So then A, are they the same? Really? A is the same?
No.
No, but what are they? So if I take this and I flip it and I put a negative on it, would it be 5/3? Well, let's try it. I want you to flip it and put a negative on it.
Yeah.
It'll be 5/3, negative, negative. Does that make sense? So this one is what? What do you call that one? You write perpendicular on that one. And the symbol for perpendicular is that symbol right there. You see the symbol right there? Yeah. So what about B? So B, take one of them, flip it and put a negative on it.
Yeah.
So what is that one? Are they
Neither.
neither, because it's not the same and it's not a negative reciprocal, right? So you just put neither. Okay. All right, let's go on to C. What about that one?
That might be parallel.
It might be parallel, or are they the same? Well, if they're the same, they're definitely parallel. And the symbol for parallel is just that right there. That's a symbol.
Okay. Okay. Can you use the restroom?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, so then let's take a look over here. Okay. Special equations, x equals 3, vertical lines at 3. So at 3, but what it's saying is on the axis. 1, 2, 3, and it's a vertical line. Do you see that? So draw it with your color pencils right there. Vertical line, x equals 3. Okay. This is also called a x-intercept because x is 3, but what is y? No, or the color pen here. Okay, do you see here? Okay, now, well, I'll actually pause it until you finish that. Y equals 12. Horizontal line at 2, but this is y axis. 1, 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that.
This one, you need to label it. It's a vertical line, y equals 2. And this is the y-intercept, 0, 2, when x equals 0. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Read it, please.
Write the equation for the line with the slope of 6 and y-intercept of 3. Graph the equation.
Okay, so this is called, you need to come over and label it with your pen. Y-intercept. 1. This one is slope intercept form. Or point slope form. I'm sorry, hold on. Point slope is the next one.
You did say this and
The what?
you did mention this.
That's right.
Really did that.
We're gonna do both. Okay. So read the question.
An equation for a line with the slope of 6 and y-intercept and graph the equation.
Slope, so it's given to you. What's given to you? Okay, so we're gonna do those two ways, okay? Well, if it gives you slope and y-intercept, you should probably just use the y-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. What do we replace m with? What do we replace the b with? -3. Write that down. Everything I write down, you need to write down. Make sure you understand what you're doing.
Okay.
Now let's graph this. Grab a pen. Where do you start?
Start at -3 and then 6.
And then you go up or down.
Up.
Go ahead and graph it.
Right one.
Go graph it.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Okay. So with point slope form, how this works is that you need to have, okay, so this one you just need slope and y-intercept, right?
Yeah.
This one you need slope and a point, okay? So when I look at this and it says b equals -3, you know it is going to be 0, -3. That is going to be your point. Do you see that? So let's use this formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? So let's plug it in. Okay, so you're given m and this point, right? So y1 or y minus the first one that I have here is -3, right? Equals 6 times x minus 0. So go ahead and do that. Now let's solve for y. Do you see how they're exactly the same equation?
Mm-hmm.
There's two different ways of doing it. Okay, let's go to the next one. So go ahead and read that one. Give it a try on your own.
Actually, did this one.
Okay, label everything.
Okay.
Okay, so once we have this, what we're gonna do is you can use two different equations. I'm gonna use both of them. And first equation is y equals mx plus b, right? So fill it in. What's given to you?
Slope is me.
Yep.
And our point is -8.
Yeah, plug it in. Good. And then you have to solve for b, right? Because that's what we're missing. Because remember, to find the equation of something, you just need a slope and you need b, right? So you need slope and you need b. So let's solve it. H equals we get 30 over 5, right? Which is going to give you a 6 plus b. So what is b? And once you find b, you're going to rewrite the equation. Okay. Over here, we're going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? Let's plug in, this is your point, right? Plug in the points. Y1 is 8. Plug it in. But be careful of the negative 10, because that's going to change a little bit. So this right here is going to give you an x plus 10, right? You got to distribute that in. Okay, so it's a negative 3 over 5x, right? Minus negative 3, so you do this on the side. Negative 3 over 5 times 10. What is that going to give you? So again, two different methods of doing this, but you get the same answer, okay? And that's what your teacher should be teaching you. All right, next one. Go ahead. All right, read, please.
Well, with the equation
Okay, what do you need for equation? And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and find the slope first, okay? So first thing to do, find slope. So m equals, and you could do that yourself. Next thing we want to do is find B. So let's use y-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b, right? You have to pick a point. Which point do you want to pick?
What's that 3/4?
0 minus 9, -2 minus 4. -9 over 6, -6,
Yeah.
which is positive 9 over 6. Oh, 2, sorry. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for catching that. So which point do you want to pick?
-2.
Okay. So you know this is x and y, right? So plug it in. Okay, -6 over 2, so that's going to be a -3, right? That's b, and what is b? 3, right? 3 over 2 times -2 over 1, the -6 over 2, which is -3.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you have that, y equals 3 over 2x plus 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
Why don't you try this one on your own?
Point 14
For what?
for B.
Mm, I don't think you're gonna get that. What did you get for slope?
Uh, -2.
But I don't think it's gonna get a whole number though. That's the problem because it's 6 equals -10 over 7.
Dude, I did -2.
That's fine,
8.
but check your work because I think that's incorrect. But I picked this one because it's positive numbers. Okay. So anyways, it'll be 6 plus 10 over 7, which is a 1 here, make that a 7. That'll be a 42, which is a 52 over 7 equals B. That's what I got. So my equation here would be y equals -2 over 7x plus 52 over 7. That's my equation. If I picked 5 over 6. Okay, now if you picked the point -2, 8, right? Your slope is still -2 over 7, right? So when you plug into the equation, you should have 8 equals -2 over 7 times -2, right? Plus b, which is positive 4 over 7 plus b. That we have? Okay. We have to subtract the 4 over 7. So it's 8 minus 4 over 7 equals b, right? You're gonna move it over this way. Did you do that? Yeah, that's probably where you went wrong. So it will be 56 over 7 minus 4 over 7 which is 52/7, and that's B. So either way, you'll still get the same answer. So just fix your mistakes, yeah. All right, read the question. Read the question.
The question, write an equation of one is -2. A, or, no.
I don't think you're writing the right one. You have it? Okay, so vertical line. This is a vertical line. What do we know about vertical line, the slope? So there is just no slope, right? So write an equation that passes through -2, 3, right? So if there is no m, it can be x equals something. So the equation is x equal to a number, okay?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is if you're at a graph -2, 3, there's -2, 1, 2, 3. It's right here, right? And it's a vertical line, right? So how do I write this vertical line? It's x equals what? -2. That's the equation. So -2. That's your equation. You see that? Now try the same thing for the bottom one. Write the equation of a horizontal line. What do we know about horizontal line? Yeah, slope is equal that passes through this point, right? So you're gonna draw your F grid and then plot your point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a horizontal line. That is your line, correct? So then when you look for the equation of the line, know that this is always going to be y equals something, right? Your equation is y equals something. And if you look at it, it's y equals -5. Do you see that? Got it? Okay, last one. Find the equation of these straight angles. So with these ones, remember they're now working backwards because it's not giving you any points, it's not giving the slope, it's just giving you a graph, and you need to fill out y equals mx plus b. What are the two things you always need when you're looking at the equation of a line?
Slope and y.
Yeah. So you can start with whichever. The y-intercept is always going to be on which axis? Yeah, it's called the y-intercept because it's always the y-axis, right?
Yeah.
This is the y-axis right there, right? Where do you see the graph crossing this line? Yeah, right there. So b equals 1, right? So put 1 right there. So now what do you need to find? No, I don't care about the x-intercept. Slope, right? Positive or negative slope? Positive slope is you're going up the hill. Negative slope means you're going down the hill. You can't get that wrong. Okay, it's a negative. So remember, this is a change in y over a change in x. So y is the rise, x is the run, correct? Remember how I told you when I looked at corners? Do you see how this one here is at the corner? Where's another corner that you see?
Oh.
No, that it has to be at a corner. You can't be right there, okay? That's at -1. Or actually, yeah, -1. It's at this corner, right? So what is the change in y and what is the change in x?
Negative.
No, we're not talking about negatives. We know it's already a negative slope. Change in y from this point to this point. How many steps is it from this point to this point on the y-axis?
2.
From here to here, correct?
Yeah.
Change in y is 2. Now you're gonna look for the change in x. So what is the change in x?
For 2, no 1.
It matters what you say. You understand? So this is gonna be a negative 2/1. That's your slope, right?
Yeah.
Now that I have a slope, right?
Yeah.
Write the equation. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. Do you see how that is done? Second equation. What is the slope? Is it
Slope
positive or negative?
negative.
Hey, remember, change in y over change in x, right? So the point that you pick has to be at a corner. Do you see how this point is at a corner? Do you see this point is at a corner? So draw your triangle. What is your change in y? I don't understand why this is so hard for you. Change in y as in from this point to this point. How many spaces is the change in y? Now change in x. From this point to this point, how many spaces is a change in x? So it is a negative 1/2, right? B, that's easy. Where is it touching the y-axis? Okay. So if you're not sure, if you say -2, make sure you put a dot there and go, gee, is that where that blue line crosses the y-axis? So your equation is y is equal to negative 1/2x. You don't need to put the plus 0, and that's it. Did you get that one? Right or wrong? Well, I need you to go and make changes on that to make sure you get 100% right. Okay, let's take a look over here. Slope positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, now you want to look for the parts where they touches the corners, right? This one just looks like, you see how these two are right there? It's like at the corner right there.
Yeah.
So what is your change in y and change in x? That's pretty easy.
My change in y is
Good. So your answer is a negative 1/1, right, for slope. B is where does this touch the y-intercept? Where does that blue line touches the y-axis? 1. Yeah, there you go. So then let's make sure you don't mess up when writing the equation. Your equation is y is equal to negative 1x plus 1, or just y equals negative x plus 1. Did you get this one right? Good. All right, let's go on to the next one.
and I do.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a second, let you finish. All right, so then looking at D, what's your y-intercept here?
Okay, small y-intercept here is -2.
That's -2.
Oh, wait.
Oh, -1, sorry.
Didn't I just say when you write that down, I want to literally have you pinpoint where it is? What do you know about the slope, positive or negative? Okay, now this is the part you're gonna look for the corners. You see this part right here? That's not a good corner. Do you see that? It's a little low. This one is a little bit high. Do you see that? That one is not a corner. This one is not a corner, but this one is a corner. Do you see that? Where is the next corner that you see? That's not a corner. That's not a corner. That's not a corner. But that's a corner. So then you draw your triangle and you ask yourself, what is my change in x? X, not y. What's your change in x?
Change in x is 5.
What's my change in y? Good. So then my equation should be really easy because I have that now. Y is equal to -2/5x minus 1.
Yes.
Good. Now last one. What is your b?
The b is -3.
Is that -3?
No,
Okay, positive slope or negative slope?
negative.
Okay, now you're gonna look for corners, right? You
Yeah.
can start here. That's not a good corner. That's not a good corner. But this is a good corner right there, correct? And do you see how it goes down there?
Yeah.
So y-intercept should always give you like some of a good corner. And then you draw your triangle. What is your change in y?
Our change in y is -3.
What's your change in x? Good. So then your equation is y is equal to -3 over 2x minus 3. Now what I want you to do,
Like, flip it.
can you go ahead? This is in y-intercept form, right? I want you to convert it standard form. Ax plus by equals c. So convert to that. So I want x and y on the left side and just a number on the right side. So give it a try. Okay, so if you move the 3 over 2x over to the left, it becomes a positive 3 over 2x plus y equals -3. But remember, you can have no fractions. And there's a fraction, right? It's a 3 over 2. How do I get rid of this 2?
I multiply it by 2.
Yeah, but do you see this part right here cancels? The denominator and numerator cancel, so it's just 3. So this is in standard form. Do you see that? You need to be able to learn how to do that back and forth. So now what I want you to do is I want you to convert all of these into standard form. Convert all of them into standard form.
It's
Okay, so now I'm gonna write everything into standard form. So I already did E, so let's go to D. Did you do D yet? D, you just get a positive 2 over 5x plus y equals -1, right? Then you time everything by 5, so 2x plus 5y equals -5. That is standard form. Then let's go to C. Did you do C yet?
Yeah.
C is the easiest one. It's just x plus 1 equals 1. That, you just move the x to the left. Okay, for B, you move the x over, the 1/2, right? It becomes a positive 1 over 2x plus y equals 0. Just put 0. And then it says x plus 2y equals 0. Did you do A yet? And then go ahead and do A. Don't look at my answers.
No, I was just looking at
And that concludes everything for this. I just really want to end